So Catherine, I want to shoot it over to you first. Just a recap of where we left off last time. So the CAF released a lot of soldiers. Officially on your mass tort, there's 329. And just anecdotally, I know there's a lot more that are probably coming down the pipe. As far as I know, the Canadian Armed Forces still has a vax mandate, and maybe you can clear that up. And essentially, you're here to represent those that have been, that have had essentially their rights infringed, but more importantly, they were wrongfully dismissed, and we're taking it to the courts so that we can get some closure on that. So, Catherine, always a pleasure to have you back on the show. If you have any updates, that'd be great, and give us some context as to what's going on with the case right now, please.
Well, one of the updates I can give you is the number's now officially 330. There were a few changes to some names on there. I got to change my shirt. You got to change your shirt.
I got to scratch it out.
Scratch it out. But I can also tell you that there's a 2.0 version of this lawsuit coming down very shortly with hundreds more. Because once word got out about the original mass tort, I've definitely been approached. I've also been approached by well over 150 vaccine injured members of the Canadian Armed Forces. So I can officially tell you that this mandate has taken out more members of the Canadian Armed Forces than the Taliban.
Wow.
Ever did.
That's
one way of putting it in perspective. So
that's a headline.
There's a headline for you. So we've got that going on. Also, interestingly enough, it's now attracted the attention of mainstream media, which is saying something for this topic. They need to expose this abuse of power. They get focused on the COVID piece, but as I've said, the lawsuit is about how CAF treated their people. They've had a problem with this for decades, and the mandate gave me the perfect example of an event happening on a specific time, October 2021, and then all the things that the chain of command did that abused their power between then and still continuing today. We've still got stuff going on from, chain of command laughing at people with cardiac arrhythmias in young men because they thought it was a joke. People that were injured in their service and were post-op from surgeries that were denied medical releases because they weren't getting vaccinated, even though they were on medical leave and on their way out with the medical pension. To people that agreed to be vaccinated and were vaccinated in the back alley behind the field hospital because they were considered too dangerous to walk into the clinic to receive their injection. So on top of all the other stories I've told you, and the stories you're going to hear directly from two of the members of the lawsuit today. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Certainly the military review committee for grievances, we've had more come down, all in our client's favor, saying yes, that their rights were breached. Yes, that's should have used Section 126, did not. And anytime the Chief of Defense Staff issues an order that breaches the Charter of Rights, it's an unlawful order. I don't care what constitutional expert they drag out, as CTV did the other day. An unlawful order is an unlawful order, and then the whole deck of cards falls apart.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The overarching principle here is abuse of power, and that's often, it gets lost in the sauce, especially with the last conversation we had. It's like, well, they're in the military, they should just shut the fuck up and do as they're told because they're supposed to take orders. It's like, hold on a sec. That's an issue in and of itself. The abuse of power is the main thing here because they didn't follow the rules they set up themselves. And in any other context, that's an abuse of power. Doesn't matter left, right, doesn't matter what your political ideology is. And that's where the focus obviously needs to go. And that's why your lawsuit has a very unique approach in that sense, because it's clear there were some serious issues there, and the allegations are pretty serious. Let's put it that way. So thanks for that summary there, Catherine. So